Hey everyone, welcome back. I am excited to introduce my next expert here, a guest speaker, and that is Dennis Kelly. Dennis is with a company called Postalytics. I highly encourage you to check out. I'm going to drop a link here in the chat as well in a second. But Dennis, share with us what it is that you're going to talk about.
Great. Thanks, Natalie. We're going to talk today about a new concept in marketing called triggered direct mail and how to use triggered direct mail with your HubSpot workflows.
Awesome. Take it away.
Great. Let me just share my screen and we will call it up. Okay. So thanks again for joining me, and thank you for DepositFix for setting this up today. So as we talked about, we're going to talk about a new marketing strategy called triggered direct mail. And just real quick, here's who I am and here's how to get in touch with Postalytics. Is a 4-year-old startup in the new field of direct mail automation. And we've developed a deep two-way HubSpot integration. We work super close with the HubSpot partner team, and you can find us in the HubSpot marketplace. So we're going to talk about today. First, we'll be talking about what triggered marketing is and why it's exploding. Next, we'll dive into the adoption of platforms like HubSpot and how they've enabled triggered marketing and created the need for triggered direct mail. And finally, we'll review some client case studies and see how it's being used. So real quick, traditional direct mail has been hammered by the pandemic. As you can imagine, the crisis has really killed B2B direct mail because people aren't in the office. It makes a little less sense that consumer-based direct mail has also dropped since everybody's stuck at home. But you can see here that traditional direct mail has really gotten killed in the pandemic. Contrast that with what we've seen with our triggered direct mail customers. Our campaign volumes and total number of campaigns and customers have been exploding. And so it's a huge shift from what's going on in the rest of the direct mail world. And there's some reasons why. We're also not alone. There are a whole bunch of other startups that have jumped into this triggered direct mail space. And so that's always a sign of a healthy market when you see a lot of new innovative companies jumping in and carving out some niche space. So first, what is triggered marketing? I think we're all familiar with the customer cycle. And what triggered marketing really is about is identifying the events where there's a transition or change in the customer life cycle. And so typically triggers are defined around these events that occur. And then these triggers kick off workflows that include messaging. So what is not triggered marketing? Well, typical broadcast campaigns are not triggered marketing. So like a sale or a newsletter or a press release or a traditional acquisition direct mail campaign. So there are really now two types of triggered marketing events, and that's how we categorize them. So the first are demographic events. And so these are life events or things that occur that are easily measured, and they've been used to trigger specific marketing campaigns. So people have been moving or getting married or using a credit card. All of these things have are demographic events that trigger different marketing. The other type of triggers are behavioral events. And so these events are often online behavioral based. And so the use of this type of trigger has exploded in recent years. So usually behavioral triggers mean that there's been some sort of behavior that's been captured online. And so we've all seen these things where, we've signed up for something and we get a series of welcome emails, or we go to a e-commerce site, we abandon the shopping cart, and then we get a bunch of digital ads that follow us around. And so, why is this happening? Well, what are the drivers of this growth? We've all seen it. Well, online behavior is often the trigger because tech has made it super easy to track people, okay? And programmatic buying has made it easy to purchase these behavior-based profiles. So cookies are being laid down all day long, and then these profiles are being packed up and sold all day long. So now it's super easy to track what people are doing online on your website and other web properties. But then what do you do with all that data? How do you use it to trigger those messages at those key stages of the life cycle? You plug it into marketing automation, like in HubSpot. And once these behavioral triggers are captured, they get organized into workflows that drive the messaging that marketers have created for each of these stages. So as a quick example, I abandon a shopping cart. It gets captured by the marketing automation system. A workflow has been set up to capture the item that I was looking at, and it dynamically inserts it into ads and messages that get sent out. And it's all automatic. Behavioral trigger usage has grown tremendously. SharpSpring estimates that the market has grown from 100 million in 2009 to 2.5 billion in 2016 in just the B2B space, while Forrester predicts that the global market has doubled from 11.5 billion to 25 billion in 6 years. So behavioral usage has just exploded right along with marketing automation adoption. So what does all this mean? Why are so many marketers focused on triggered marketing? Well, the bottom line is that triggered marketing works. Historically, demographic event-based campaigns have delivered way better results than broadcast-style campaigns. Now, behavioral triggers can be captured, processed, and messages delivered in seconds, and they deliver great results. And when marketers find something that works, they get pretty fired up. Here's some stats to back that up. According to GetResponse, triggered email campaigns get open rates more than 100% higher than newsletter campaigns. Blueshift is a customer data platform company that did a benchmark study of batch versus triggered campaigns of various types. On average, the triggered campaigns were 624% more effective at driving sales than were batch sends. And when you find something that is 624% better at driving sales, you get a bunch of happy marketers. So there's two reasons why this works so well. First, it makes sense. The fundamentals of marketing 101. You can segment campaigns, you can take advantage of time, and triggered campaigns are easily personalized, especially when profiles are developed from online behavior. So number one, it just makes sense from a basic marketing standpoint. Number two, triggered campaigns scale. Once these inputs, such as the abandoned shopping cart, are mapped to those segmented and timed and personalized messages and automated workflows, they just keep sending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so humans are able to spend their time testing and analyzing and improving these campaigns rather than spending all their time prepping the next batch or blast campaign. So, key takeaways so far. Important events in the customer lifecycle become triggers. Behavioral triggers are fast, easy, and automated because they're better marketing and highly scalable. So what about triggered mail? Traditionally, direct mail has been used for batch style campaigns, which work really well for demographic type of events. And that's due to the economics of setting up a print and mail operation. Direct mail has traditionally been a batch style of marketing. Here's an example of a new mover campaign. A whole bunch of people over a big geography decide to move. And then that data gets captured by various data aggregators and sold to marketers who want to reach movers. Lists are compiled, printing and mailing happens, and new movers get the mail and respond to offers from the local service providers in the new locations. And the whole thing runs on 60 to 90-day batch cycles. So what are the differences between these demographic and behavioral-based campaigns? They're batch versus drip, right? So that new mover campaign is batch-based, where behavioral campaigns are drip-based. And they are immediate versus the delayed or 60-day production cycle of a new mover campaign. So if there's a ton of behavioral triggered marketing going on in other channels, why do we care about direct mail? Why do we need to add it into the mix? It's because all of the automation involved in the digital marketing space has created a tremendous amount of messaging. Digital and email marketing has scaled way beyond our ability to absorb those messages. And we've all experienced digital marketing overload. It's because of that scalability. And so what's happening, email click rates are going down, while direct mail response rates are going up. And so by adding direct mail automation into the mix, behavioral triggers can now push out direct mail, one mail piece at a time rather than in large batches, processed in minutes rather than in 60 to 90-day cycles. Well, how does this work? It works by plugging into HubSpot and the rest of your marketing automation stack. HubSpot data drives the mailer, and then delivery and response data gets synced back into HubSpot. There's no more need for huge batches, because on the back end, we're getting volume across hundreds of customers for our print partners. And we're processing triggers 24/7, 365 with daily print and mail production. So we've been doing this for a while. We've seen different use cases. The primary thing that people are doing is using these triggered direct mail campaigns to augment their existing email and digital marketing efforts. Because all of our customers have already invested a lot into their HubSpot workflows. So let's make them work better. So here's our first example. It's a customer onboarding workflow. This is a SaaS company. And so every time they sign up a new customer, which is the trigger, immediately the workflow kicks out a client service manager's email, as well as a letter from the CEO. And then in that first week, help emails are going from the CSM, and a webinar invite goes out via email and by postcard. And then in weeks 2 through 4 of the onboarding process, more help emails are going out, trying to drive up a setup call with the CSM. And if 3 or more emails are not opened, postcards are automatically being sent to reawaken and re-engage. And so we're using email for what it does well and using direct mail for what it does well and letting the automation have everything. And so what happened with this SaaS company and their onboarding process? Well, their goal is to reduce churn. And we saw a 40% decline in first month churn after they plugged direct mail into their existing workflow, along with a 200% increase in customer lifetime value. So the trigger, the behavioral event is, hey, we got a new customer. And now it kicks off this combined direct mail email workflow that works great. Here's another example. A client win-back campaign. So this is a company that has set up an ongoing win-back campaign, plugged in Postalytics. And so the trigger that they developed and modified for this was that no orders or emails had been opened for 6 months. We've all seen this. We've all seen people drop off our email lists. They stop opening, they stop responding. And so what happens when that occurs? Well, first, a large postcard offer goes out. So a big oversized postcard, like the one you saw on the previous page, goes out with a great offer to try to get them to re-engage. And then over the next 6 weeks, they're getting weekly personal emails from a newly assigned customer service rep and additionally large postcard offers, which build up that first offer. And so it's a concerted effort to get these people back, get them to engage. Once they engage on email, they drop out of the direct mail drip and they're back in their lower cost channel. So what happened? We saw dead order volume increase by 140% and a 500% increase in the ROI of the existing email-only win-back. So what are our key takeaways? The scale of digital marketing has created a problem. Direct mail can now seamlessly plug into HubSpot and your other marketing automation tools. And behaviorally triggered direct mail can deliver segmented, timed, and personalized mail pieces. And it's designed to enhance and improve your existing email and digital infrastructure. Quick word on Postalytics. We've built native two-way integration with marketing automation and CRM tools. We've developed a modern open API that is easily integrated with the other tools in your stack to do analytics and other things. And the software is 100% cloud-based. And so you're not dealing with any manual processes. You're logging into software in the cloud. You do everything there. We take care of the printing and mailing. And so that was a 20-minute overview on triggered direct mail and how to use it in HubSpot Workflows.
Awesome. We have a question from Ramesh, our dear audience, listener, watcher, because he's been asking lots of questions. Ramesh is back. So how do you get prospects' home address considering people are working from home? Yeah,
so great question. So I'm assuming then this is a B2B company because B2C companies already have the home addresses. So in that case, there are two ways of doing this. Number one, there are some specialty lists that are being generated that you can rent and test out and see if you can get to the executive that are living at home. The other thing that a lot of folks are doing is they're sending out emails to get people to give their home address in exchange for a small gift. And so then they'll mail, a Starbucks card or a small gift card or something to that home address as a way to gather addresses that are then being used for direct mail campaigns later on.
Interesting idea. Question from Darren, and we only have 1 minute. Is print postcards all your company sends? Do you send anything else? Anything else like physical gift or packages?
We don't send any gifts at this stage of the game, but we do send, in addition to postcards, we send letter packages. And so you can create letters that are 1 to 6 pages, and you can print on the front and the back, so you can set them up as flyers. You can also create customized envelopes and use branded customized envelopes to get people to open your mail.
Awesome, Dennis. Thank you so much. Great session, Eric. Thank you so much for the comments as well, everyone. And we only have 2 more sessions to go. Dennis, everyone check out Postalytics. I dropped there as well. Dennis, thank you so much for taking the time. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, Natalie. Thanks to everybody for joining.
Thank you.